What's up, guys? How the hell are you all doing? You know it, you love it. That's right, it's Bullszat time. We're not screwing around anymore. I've been cultivating a long win streak over the last couple of weeks, maybe even a month now, going for that vaunted 100 games in a row. I've not done it yet. And I've gotten painfully close a bunch of times. Win streaks over 50 or 60 games, always something just goes wrong. So cultivating that win streak again, hoping to get there. I'll definitely make a video about it if I'm able to achieve it, but I'll be making videos in the meantime. And I've got some good news. A game that I've been playing a ton for the last couple of years, a game made by a friend of mine and his compatriots, a game called Storybook Brawl, which is in the auto battler genre, has occupied most of my time and attention for the last year and a half or so. But fortunately for you guys, maybe a little unfortunately for me, Storybook Brawl shuttered its servers yesterday morning, sad, on the 1st of May, and is no more, which gives me a lot more free time for gaming, and probably means I'll be playing a lot more Magic in the days ahead. So stay tuned for a lot of games. I've already got some games in the pipeline to record. This is going to be the first of them. I still intend fully to do my my Minsk and Boo deck tech. I've got the deck all ready to go. It's all blinged out, unsleeved for the people for the people who appreciate that, and expect to do a video for it in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're going to do some Bullszat beatdowns. I've been playing this deck like crazy. It is incredibly fun. I love this deck. I mean, I think objectively it's the strongest commander deck that that I've ever produced, and it's been a collaboration with my good friend Nate Prodzik. If you watch his channel, I'm sure you've seen dozens and dozens of games featuring Bullszat, and our versions are almost identical. I think probably maybe one card apart, although Nate's made some very valid arguments for changes that probably will have my version being identical to his. I don't think it quite is yet. When this game was played, it was played back maybe a couple weeks ago, actually, I think on 420, appropriately. And I'm up against this guy, Necros, running the dreaded Krenko mob boss. I have one of those Bullszat hands. This is like exactly why you play this deck. I've long said that it's the best Jeweled Lotus deck in the format currently, and it's kind of the best deck for a lot of things. It might be the best Winter Orb deck. It's certainly the best Skull Clamp deck, and just totally abuses Jeweled Lotus and a bunch of the other ridiculous accelerators and broken cards that have been added to Commander format in the last couple of years. Let's see here. I don't remember if I'm going first here, but as you can see, I've got, waiting on him. Okay, looks like he is first here. Mox Diamond, interesting. Discarding Buried Ruin. Ugh. Grenzo Havoc Raiser. What an incredibly powerful card to play on turn one. The ability to just play your opponent's spells off the top of their deck. It's very much like Ragavan, although it doesn't make mana, but you can spend any amount of mana to cast the card until you may cast that card. So it doesn't allow you to play lands just like Ragavan, but it does allow you to spend mana of any color to play it. So Grenzo is super powerhouse. In fact, there are Goblin decks that just use Grenzo. He's kind of like Edric, actually. I just think that it's not probably quite as good as some of the other red commanders, but it is cheap, and you know, given the choice, I might actually run Grenzo as my commander over Krenko. That's not going to matter too much anyway, since I can put a lot of roadblocks in the way, since that's what Tevesh-Zat does. Opposition Agent, very nice. Playstated Traders, played the aforementioned Jeweled Lotus, and since he, of course, he has no counterplay to this, played Tevesh-Zat, and play my little guy. Make some tokens, and looking pretty fortified on turn one. Plays Inventor's Fair, which is kind of a weird card to see in Krenko, so he's probably got some artifact sub-theme. And he plays Goblin Sharpshooter. Ugh, talk about a hard counter. That is such a sick punish. My God, all right, well, I'm going to have to deal with that. I don't have any removal for it yet. In comes Grenzo. Of course, I'm just going to chump this. One of my free thralls, and Goblin Sharpshooter can't untap yet. But next turn, infinite 0/1s will die. I need to draw something good right now. Ancient Tomb. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to have to draw cards here since these things are going to be dead, and I've got Fire of Alarm, Fire situation, so that means sacking Rugra right away. And I get land, Shatter Skull Smashing. That kills the Goblin Sharpshooter. Not normally in the deck for that reason, but sometimes you need the X spell, and this is one of those situations, so that's pretty good. I'm going to cast my Liquid Metal Torque here and just play a black mana source, which of course kills the thing, and will also allow me to duress him over casting Rogue Ra again, since there's no reason to do that anyway, since it's just more fodder for the Sharpshooter. And he's got Mogcatcher and Treasonous Ogre in his hand. Oh shit. Well, fortunately he only has 3 land, but if he hits a 4th mana, I could be in deep shit. He's going to be able to play the rest of his hand off of the Treasonous Ogre, which is just a completely broken effect in Commander when you have 40 life. It makes so much mana for nothing. So I got to cross my fingers and hope he doesn't have any more lands for a little while, which will buy me enough time to probably draw into a way to kill the Mox Diamond to set him back further. And that should be enough, but I can't defend myself, and the fact that Krenko can play the top of my deck means that he may draw accelerators that way anyway, since I run so many of them. No land, please, no land. Oh, god damn it. Alright, well, he just mows down my token and untaps the Sharpshooter. It's kind of interesting, actually, that he elects... Oh, I guess he can play the Ogre either way. God, this is so gross. Attack, and you can just spend the red mana you get off Treasonous Ogre to cast anything. Could you imagine if he hit something like Mind Twist right now? How fucked I'd be. Alright, in comes old Krenko. Bonk. Whatever creature can do is combination. You know, it's interesting. He could have actually attacked with the Sharpshooter too. It's a little strange that he didn't do it. But I guess maybe he's just more concerned about keeping it untapped. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. If he attacks it, it won't untap, so he can't use it to kill Thralls. So that's obviously why he doesn't do it. He knows the card pretty well. But he gets to exile a card. I'm thinking, please hit a land. Please don't be good. Oh, fuck. Sword of Fire and Ice. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, he's going to pay 9 life to cast that. And he's going to pay another... God, it's so just ridiculous, right? He's at 19. He's paid 31 life, and it just doesn't... Or 21 life, and it doesn't even matter. And now he's got Mogcatcher in play to get any Goblin permanent and put it directly into play. Like, look how fast this got out of control. And most of my hand does nothing. Him does nothing. Winter Orb definitely does nothing. Opposition Agent, maybe. If he uses Mogcatcher, but I don't really have any time. I need to mount some kind of a defense, or I'm just going to die here to the freaking sword. I see him, like, paying some life. It's interesting that he opted not to cast Krenko. It would have been interesting to see him cast Krenko, but instead he just equips the Sword of Fire and Ice onto the Mogcatcher rather than the Treasonous Ogre. Which is a little weird given the fact that I assume that he's going to be using Mogcatcher to go fetch stuff. But I'm sure he had a reason for it. Okay, I draw Crucible. That's not terrible. But God, my hand is just so relatively slow. And I have to make the only play that makes any sense here. I just have to get this dumb thing off the board. So he shoots me. At least I do have a lot of life total to work with, and it's dead. And that allows me to put some Thralls into play here, to at least mount some kind of a defense and get Tevish Zat up into enough counters to possibly ultimate and take the Krenko and maybe start building up some goblins. How many is it? Goblins you control. Okay, so it only makes 1 initially. Ugh, now I got to deal with Mogcatcher. Why did he equip that sword on a Mogcatcher? That was so weird. He plays Smoldering Crater for more mana. You can see him using Mogcatcher here. I'm thinking, well, what does he get? I mean, I guess if he could have really fucked me up here. He could have gotten Siege Gang Commander and gotten 3 tokens and used his Treasonous Ogre. He would have gone down in life quite a bit, but he could have used Treasonous Ogre to kill off both of the Thralls and attack for a bunch of damage to play some more free spells or whatever. But I guess he's concerned about his life till he gets Goblin Recruiter. Interesting. Why would you do that? Over like getting a giant goblin that you don't have to cast next turn. Kind of a weird play. I'm quite glad for it. Certainly has something like Kiki Chiki or whatever, right? He's got a Kiki Chiki in the deck. But you can see him putting 9 cards into the revealed, so okay. Gotta be careful that I don't fast forward here. Sometimes when people search, it moves the UI bar around and then I wind up fast forwarding for 5 turns. Alright, here they come. Dethroning, because he's got more life than me, obviously. 5 damage coming in. Normally I wouldn't block, but I need to block some stuff here, at least one of these creatures. And unfortunately, I didn't realize how Grenzo worked. I kind of think I certainly thought that it was just Grenzo that does this ability rather than any creature. So I blocked the wrong thing. I block Grenzo and take 3 from Mr. Dethrone anyway. And he exiles Phyrexian Tower. Okay, sigh of relief there. He did not hit anything really particularly deadly. Alright. I need to draw something pretty good here pretty quickly. Under so much pressure. And I know that he just recruited for something. The question is, what did he recruit for? But he can't, if he recruited, then he can't use the Mog Catcher again. I don't know, it's sort of such a weird decision to get Goblin Recruiter. I don't know why the hell he did that. But I'm gonna use Bullszat to or Tevesh-Zat to sack my last throw and draw into some action. And off that I get Death Cloud. Well, I was hoping to get something like, well, Fire Covenant wouldn't work because Mog Catcher's got Sword of Fire and Ice on it. But I was hoping to get Toxic Deluge. Deluge would have been just amazing. This isn't bad for sure, but the problem is I don't have triple black, and Death Cloud requires triple black. So I'm going to have to just try to shore up my my board here a little bit. And that means just playing Dark Confidant and probably flashing out the opposition agent. Maybe if he uses the Mog Catcher instead of attacking with it. So we'll see. All right, he's tapping some more mana. So he drew the card that he recruited for. I guess there are 8 other goblins on top of his library. And he's moving the sword. That probably makes sense. And look, using Mog Catcher after... What the hell was this play? Why did he do this? He could have just gotten the thing that he just drew, put it directly into play instead of the recruiter. He's just reshuffling anyway. So a little bit baffling, and this allows me to just flash out opposition agent here to completely blunt this play and play whatever goblin he gets. We can take a look at his deck. So it would have made sense to get Mass Hysteria. What a cool deck, actually. Lots of neat stuff in here. Does he have Siege Gang Commander? There it is. Siege Gang Commander. What didn't you get that? What were you doing? So weird. Does not have Magus of the Moon. Doesn't have that. I don't think he has. Well, he has Blood Moon, but not Magus of the Moon. Oh wait, no, it maybe does. Magus Goblin Grindy. Does he have Magus of the Moon? Yeah, he does. Okay. Definitely built correctly. This is a pretty damn good Krenko deck, but he's not going to be able to get anything, and I need to figure out what I want to get. And I think the choice, based on my mana situation, I believe, is to go get the Siege Gang Commander. I think that's what I get. He has 1 card in his hand, and I can only imagine that it's Kiki Jiki. And both these guys can attack. Oh, he's attacking with a 1/1. And a Dethrone. Well, I'm not going to let him hit me with Grenzo. I'm going to attack that thing. And he's actually going for my life total here in order to use the ability on Grenzo, which leaves Tevesh-Zat at 10, which is very critical. So it does require me to chump block. That's totally acceptable. And he does get to Grenzo once. And survey says... Another sigh of relief. So scary. I hate that card. All right. Opposition agent survives, though, so he can't Mog Catcher next turn. He's tapped out. I just need another black mana, and I can recover this game. It seemed so bleak a couple turns ago. Ooh, Chandra. Very nice. But 10 counters on Tevesh-Zat. That's going to allow me to ultimate. Immediately puts Tevesh-Zat into the command zone before the ability resolves, which gets my Krenko. Resets him, takes his Krenko. I'm sorry, gets my Rogra. Takes his Krenko, resets Tevesh-Zat. He forgets entirely that he just ultimated. And now I can draw 3 again and hopefully hit some black mana. Come on, baby. Yes. Verdant Catacombs. Of course, I'll throw that away. Oh, see, it almost did it to me right there. I almost clicked fast forward. All right, play the Verdant Catacombs. Yes, sir. Play a Swamp. Oh, why did I get Badlands? That's kind of dumb. I guess I'm intending to keep one of these things anyway, so that's fine. All right, send in old opposition agent. And post-combat, here we go. Cloud. Death Cloud. So powerful. All your beautiful things are dead. So I have to discard 3, not hard. I don't need Winnower, probably don't need him to Torak, and actually I don't need these lands since I've got Crucible of Worlds anyway. So I think I just chuck the lands, keep the spells. Since he may not be casting anything for a while, the Hymn to Torak is probably going to be pretty good. All the creatures are toast. I sack 3 lands. I'm going to just keep bad lands around. Well, actually, no, I guess I keep the Ancient Tomb, since I do have the Crucible in play. Destroys 3 of his lands. And a Kiki-Jiki, Mirror Breaker, which he did not put into play. So he could put the Goblin Recruiter out instead. Now he's kind of screwed. He's at 7 life. I have an active Tevesh Zat. I have more mana than him. He only has 2 land. He can't cast his commander since it costs 6. And he has to top deck a 2-mana Goblin to even get back into this game. And he does not top deck a 2-mana Goblin. Beautiful. Mana Vault. Excellent. All right. Well, I can afford to take 2 for sure. Play Crucible. Play Blackcleave Cliffs. Cast Mana Vault. Oh, look at these permanent explosion here against Necros. He's got 3 land. Does he draw a 3-mana guy? He's got lots of 3-mana creatures in his deck. Blood Moon would be real bad for me. Let's see. Nothing. No play at all. Delicious. All right then. Oh, I got a God Pharaoh's statue. Hell yeah. And I'm going to play Chandra, make 2 red mana. No hesitation at all here. Slam the statue. Make 2 more Thralls. Now he's at 1 mana, 1 card in hand. And knowing that the writing is indeed fully on the wall with no prospect whatsoever of clawing his way back into the game before I probably ultimate the Chandra and Tevesh cranks up to 10 counters. Necros calls it a day, and we win a game that looked so bleak just a couple turns ago. In fact, it looked bleak as soon as he cast the Sharpshooter, and looked bleaker still a couple turns later. But man, aided by that really nonsensical play of getting Recruiter, if he had had the Kiki-Jiki in play, it would have been very likely a very different kind of game. So quite grateful for it. Glad to get the win. The win streak continues. We soldier on, and more games in the pipeline, guys. Look forward to that. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. Take care.